Wellness Show. I'm Dr. Keisha Christian, your host, and so glad that you've tuned in for such an important episode as this. Today, we are going to discuss posture and body mechanics. Everyone uses posture and body mechanics, whether it's good posture or whether it's bad posture, whether it's good body mechanics or whether it's bad body mechanics. Posture is basically how we hold our body in various positions, such as sitting, standing, walking, any activity or position that we may get into. Body mechanics is simply how we move, how we function on a day-to-day basis. And body mechanics can include lifting, squatting, bending, carrying objects, various tasks like that. Now, unfortunately, if you exhibit bad posture, or what I call faulty or poor posture in body mechanics, it can be a precursor to many physical conditions. And sometimes it can lead to arthritis years down the road. Some of the conditions can include a muscle strain. It can include pain throughout the body. It could include just any musculoskeletal condition. For example, the back and the neck, the spine is very susceptible to injury and conditions when you are in faulty postures or body mechanics. Also, there's tennis elbow that can occur. That's when too much stress or strain can occur on the elbow area. Also in the legs, same thing. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, how various positions can cause and alter your way of positioning your body, which can cause tight muscles and also more elongated or relaxed muscles. And there's no balance. Our bodies crave balance. And that's why it's so important to have good posture and body mechanics. Simply, our body needs to be in neutral position to be illness, injury free, but also to function at its optimal level. Let's talk about sitting. Sitting is something we do every day. When we sit in a position where our back is supported, our legs are supported properly, then we can simply not put a lot of strain or pressure on our body. However, given that our head, the average head weighs 10 to 12 pounds, if we are sitting in a slouched or bad position for a period of time, we could increase the weight 3 times as much. So for example, if your head weighs 12 pounds and you are sitting in a slouched position, that is 36 pounds of force that's going through your spine and those vulnerable discs that we have in between each vertebrae that are shock absorbers for our body. We need those shock absorbers for our body to be able to have good posture and function throughout the day. Same thing with standing. If we slouch, we're putting that much more pressure on our bodies. So we want to make sure that we are maintaining good posture with your head erect, your shoulders back, your chest slightly out, your abdominals taut or tuck in your tummy a little bit, and then also with your legs relaxed. So your knees are going to be a little bit relaxed, so there's a little bit of give. They're going to be straight, but a little bit of give, not extended or hyperextended. So that's a good way of standing and positioning our bodies. It's simply putting our bodies in a neutral position so it does not cause a lot of increased force or load that gives us a precursor to pain and other musculoskeletal conditions. Let's talk about driving. Driving as well is something that many adults do every day. driving, sitting in a car, ends at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. But that is putting our arms at a very vulnerable position. So I usually recommend drop those arms down, position at either between 7 and 8 o'clock, and also between 4 and 5 o'clock. So those elbows and the shoulders are nice and relaxed. Of course, we want you to have control over your vehicle. We don't want any accidents, but we also want your arms to be comfortable and in good neutral position so that you will have good posture and mechanics while you're driving. Also, sleeping. Sleeping, it's very important to make sure we're in neutral position. I have a client who typically expresses that her pain is in her spine, and it occurs basically when she's sleeping. She's changed her mattress multiple times. She's changed her pillows multiple times, and it continued to occur. Well, after we assessed a little bit more into her spine, and we saw that perhaps she's sleeping in the improper position. So we encouraged her to utilize supportive pillows while she's sleeping on her side, as she was a side sleeper, and try to maintain your spine as straight as possible. Our spine is configured in an S-curve, and it's important to maintain those levels of S-curves when we are static, not moving at all, or whether we are mobile, where we're moving. It's very, very important. So after we had those recommendations for her, we realized after a couple of weeks of practicing good sleeping position as such, she was feeling so much better. And so sometimes it can be as simple as how we hold our bodies in various positions, whether it's against gravity or whether gravity is eliminated, such as laying in bed. So always be keen on how your posture and body mechanics are. Also, when we're doing various activities throughout the house, body mechanics is monumental. We do get into various positions that can put our bodies at harm. For example, something that we do every day is brushing our teeth. We want to make sure that you're not leaning forward into the mirror and brushing, but you're maintaining your body erect and brushing. Something as simple as leaning forward for a long period of time, that is faulty or poor posture. It's very important to remain erect, straight. Your spine as straight as you can. We've all heard it. Stand up straight from our parents, our grandparents, and other loved ones. And it is so true what they say is that if you don't maintain your spine straight for the majority of the time, you leave your body vulnerable and susceptible to various musculoskeletal conditions. So let's also talk about men who shave. Men who shave each day, they're also looking in the mirror and bending. Try to maintain that good posture and standing straight up. That will eliminate a lot of the discomforts that you're having throughout your spine. As we may go and pick up a newspaper and lift something that is as light as 1 pound to something that is as heavy as 50 pounds, and it may also be an awkward object that we're lifting. Very important to utilize proper body mechanics by still maintaining your spine straight, separating your legs some, so positioning your feet so that they're shoulder width apart. You're going to almost stick out your buttocks a little bit, which actually gives some support to your spine, and then also tighten up your tummy. That engages those strong core muscles that are so important to utilize with various movements that we do throughout the day. And you'll squat down, lift the object, and then stand up. You don't want to bend forward to lift any object. Let's talk about doing laundry, something as simple as the washing machine and dryer. You didn't realize, did you, that there are the best techniques in doing so for good posture and body mechanics. Simply, you want to always be as close to whichever object you are grasping objects from, and then go as close as you can to the object that you're actually putting it to. So with the washer and dryer, you want to make sure that you're building a bridge. This is another technique that you can use when lifting in confined or awkward spaces. You can bring your leg behind you, so you're building that bridge. That helps to support your spine. You'll keep your spine straight, maintain that straight, erect spine, and then you'll actually lunge forward a little bit to grasp the clothes out of either the top load or the front load. And then when you're moving them to the dryer, you just take a step to the side and you do the same. Front load are most dryers, right? So you'd actually either go ahead and squat all the way down and position it into the dryer, or you can put one foot in front and actually lunge forward to position it in the dryer. Another very common activity that we do is placing dishes, bowls, glasses, silverware into the dishwasher, right? Yes, there is a proper way of doing that to maintain good posture and body mechanics. You can use, again, that technique that I mentioned is bringing your leg back, one of your legs back, and you always want to get as close to the area that you're either lifting or positioning an object to. And keep your spine straight, but also you can lunge. Use those strong legs to help you in placing the dish or the bowl or the glass or silverware into the dishwasher. Now the reverse is the same. Always get close as possible. Grasp the dish or the bowl, and with your leg back, you're going to come back with your weight, and then you can actually place it in the cabinet or on the countertop. What you don't want to do is bend forward. The repetitive bending activity is going to put a lot of strain on your spine potentially. And as we age and get older, our bodies, they have the potential to wear out. However, if you have taken good, proper care of your body, then it will last you, just like a good car. So ensure that you are using good, proper body mechanics and posture with everything, all the activities that you're doing. Also, I want to talk about sleeping. When you're sleeping, we touched on it a little earlier, but you want to make sure that you are sleeping in a good, comfortable, and healthy position. There are two recommended positions, sleeping on your back and sleeping on your side. There are quite a few stomach sleepers out there in the world, but it is the least recommended position. Why, you may want to know? Because it is the position that takes your body out of the neutral position. Sleeper, and that's the only way that you're going to get some rest. My recommendation to you is, one, try to break that habit. Two, if you're going to sleep on your stomach, is go ahead and put a pillow underneath your abdomen. That'll take out some of the pressure in your spine, and it also encourages your spine to maintain that good curvature that we are supposed to have all the time. When you are sleeping on your back, you want to ensure that your spine is in neutral position and it is straight. Your shoulders are relaxed and your arms are by your side. Some people like to sleep with a small pillow underneath their knees, and that's fine, or you can just leave them straight. Now, when you're sleeping on your side, you want to make sure that your spine, again, is in neutral position. Your head's not tilted forward or back, but it is in neutral position. Your shoulders are a little bit relaxed, and you can bend your knees slightly. And some of the recommendations that I provide is to utilize a body pillow or one pillow or even two pillows to help support your spine and your body so that you can sleep comfortably and more in a natural, neutral position. As we are young, when we're perhaps babies, infants, we learn perfect body mechanics because it's so natural for us to have good posture and body mechanics when we're born. You'll see babies who, when they're playing, they're actually squatting. They're putting their legs wide, quite a bit of a base support in between their legs, and they squat, so they're bending their knees. And that is a good posture when you're getting down low to the ground. Now, as we get older, a few things happen. One, we may get lazier. Two, we may get used to certain positions that disables us from utilizing good posture and body mechanics. Three, we may develop some discomforts performing certain positions as well as movements. So we may actually learn to do the opposite or prevent those discomforting positions from occurring. So we actually develop ways of compensating our body. And number four, we see different bad behaviors that we, of course, emulate. So that occurs as well. As you can see in this picture, you have children that are performing good body mechanics. And in this other picture, you can see as you get older, and even older, we start to form those bad habits. And that's when we can get ourselves in trouble. Because when we do have incorrect or faulty posture in body mechanics, is what I call it, we could develop various muscle strains, degenerative arthritis from improper posture, or even body mechanics. So let's look at some of the normal postures and some of the faulty postures. So we always want you to maintain a good neutral posture. So on the left-hand side of this picture, you can see the good positioning of posture. You're bearing your weight primarily on the balls of your feet. You want to keep your knees slightly bent. Keep your feet about shoulder width apart. Let your arms hang naturally down by your side. Stand straight and tall with your shoulders pulled back. I usually say stand like a soldier. Tuck in your stomach a little bit so it remains taut. Keep your head level with your earlobes. And it should also be in line with your shoulders. Do not push your head forward, backward, or to the side. So you want to maintain that good posture in neutral position. And if you're going to stand for long periods of time, you can shift your weight from side to side, from one foot to the next foot, and you can walk around a little bit to relieve that pressure. So the next posture that you see is going to be lordosis. Lordosis is an increased inward curving of the lumbar spine. So in the spine, when you look at it from the side view, you're going to see a gradual S-curve, which is perfect. The lumbar area is that lower area of the back that's sitting right above the buttocks area, right above the hips. Now, when you do have lordosis, it's an increased curvature. So that can cause a lot of back pain in that area as well. So we don't want you to develop that. After time, could be prone to increased back strain, muscle strain, and also degenerative arthritis in the areas. The third postural position is called kyphosis. So kyphosis is when the thoracic area, that's the mid-back area that houses a lot of your organs, that's when that becomes rounded or even it's hunched over. You'll see most people hunched over. Kyphosis is a clinical condition of excessive curvature of the upper back. It's greater than 50 degrees. It leads to like a stooped over forward posture and can cause a lot of pain and problems. We simply call this a hunch position, kyphosis. You see in some older populations, they will have a hunchback position, and their muscles, their bone structure has adapted to this position. So it's very difficult for them to straighten up after they've been in this position for such a long period of time. Moving on to the right, you will see flat back. The flat back syndrome is an abnormal condition where the spine loses its natural low back curve to become flat. The spine becomes very imbalanced and people tend to lean forward because their back is flat. Their lower back is flat in the lumbar area. People that have flat back tend to notice ongoing low back pain as well as leg pain, and they also have difficulty standing up straight. Moving on to the right, the second of last posture that you see is sway back. Sway back is when the posture is such where you see a pooching of a belly that seems to pull the spine forward. The pelvis tilts forward unnaturally, throwing your balance out of control and forcing your lower back to compensate. The shoulders tend to sit way back and the head thrusts in a forward position for compensation purposes. Sway back. Sometimes when you see ladies who wear high heels for long periods of time, they may have sway back. Last but not least, let's talk about scoliosis. Scoliosis generally occurs in children, and what happens with scoliosis, it's when a sideward curvature develops in the spine. And again, it's mostly often in children during the growth spurts, just right before puberty. While scoliosis can be caused by conditions such as cerebral palsy and muscular dystrophy, there aren't any known reasons why scoliosis typically develops. Most cases of scoliosis are mild, but some children develop spine deformities that continue to get more severe as they grow. I've actually seen quite a few children with scoliosis. I've treated some mild cases and I've treated some severe cases. And it's unfortunate to see how their bodies may adjust and they may also compensate for that. So there's a lot of education on posture and body mechanics and getting those muscles back into some form of balance and alignment. Again, today we're talking about good posture, and posture is very important to maintain. You want to keep the bones and joints in the correct alignment so the muscles are being used properly. It helps to decrease abnormal weight bearing of joints that could result in arthritis. It decreases the stress on the ligaments holding the joints and the spine together. It prevents the spine from becoming fixed in abnormal positions. And of course, it also prevents the fatigue factor from occurring. Well, we have discussed a lot about posture and body mechanics, yet it's only the tip of the iceberg. So I want to share with you that there are so many benefits to having good posture and body mechanics, but the most important key is to proper posture and body mechanics is that you're practicing it good day in and day out to prevent various musculoskeletal conditions, as well as to feel good and look good and just take those unnecessary pressure off of the body parts that we have, the joints, the muscles, the ligaments, the vertebrae, the discs. All of those areas need to be relieved of pressure in order to be able to feel good and function well years and years to come. So I'm going to provide you with 4 recommendations and actions that I would like you to put into motion. The first one is to check your posture and body mechanics. Simply go in front of a mirror and or have a friend or a family member take a look at your posture and body mechanics and share with you what they think. The second recommendation and action that I have for you is exercise. Simple postural exercises that will help your body stay in good alignment, and it will strengthen up those postural muscles that we have. Most of those postural muscles that we have, the first exercise, you're going to tuck your chin in as if you're pulling your chin towards your neck and spine. Hold for a count of 5 and relax. You may do 5 to 10 repetitions of those. The second exercise I propose to you is bring your arms up, same level as your shoulders in this position, and you're going to bring your arms closer to your face, and you're going to extend your arms out while squeezing your shoulder blades together. And then release. Squeeze shoulder blades together, arms extended back, and release. You may do 10 to 15 repetitions of those, and then as time progresses, you can certainly add repetitions. The recommendation that I have for you is utilizing a roller. Sometimes we have those aches and pains that are in the muscles throughout our body, or we also may just have tightness throughout our body. Various muscles like in the back or the hamstrings, the hips, those are just really common areas to have muscle tension, tightness, and discomfort. Using a nice roller, either on the floor or on a mat, can be beneficial in rolling those areas out and normalizing the form and the length of the muscle. Attention so that you can be informed on what you can do to have good posture and body mechanics, and you can live a lifelong wellness, feeling good, looking good, and maintaining balance throughout the body. And that's what we want to encourage you to do, is not only today, but it is a journey. It's a lifelong journey into wellness. So remember, focus on your body mechanics, and we thank you for joining us for another episode today. And as always, we want you to be well on the Wellness Show.